Welcome back, friends, to Front Office Sports, continuing coverage of Super Bowl 59 here from the New Orleans Convention Hall. I'm Baker Machado alongside Lindsay Zaite, and we're very excited to have Braxton Berrios, wide receiver over at the Miami Dolphins, joining us. Braxton, good to have you here. Before we get into any good football-related questions or any of that stuff, we got to talk about your partnership that you got going on right now.
Oh, absolutely. IR code, right? I guess simply put, it blends the physical and digital worlds. And I'll give you an example. So imagine we're watching the Super Bowl, right? And we can do it with commercials too, but say Patrick Mahomes comes on the screen. You pull out IR code, you scan it, it'll go directly to his merch to buy his stuff, directly to his player stats, his fantasy, say a foundation that he started. And so basically it has a brand new way to interact, for fans to interact with players. And then also if you're watching a commercial, McDonald's comes on, say, it'll bring you directly to McDonald's to order that food. So it's a really cool interactive way for players to get closer to fans and also fans to get closer to players.
Very cool.
So let's talk about the game this weekend. Obviously, we know the Dolphins aren't in it this year, but you had a great year the year prior. Who are you rooting for between the Chiefs and the Eagles on this one?
I wish both could lose.
Yeah,
Rooting for and prediction,
fine.
I think, are two very, very different questions. I think it's a great game. I think they're both incredible teams. Obviously, I do think they're the two best teams in the league at this moment. And it's hard to go against the guys who just always find a way. I think Kansas City, somehow, some way, then they pull it out.
So you won the three-peat then?
I don't say I want
it, but you find
it. Want is a different question than
right.
think.
Okay.
But I think they have what it takes to pull it off for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, as for the Dolphins, I saw that they were named to the Madrid game next year, 2025. Is there any specific location that you would like to see an international NFL game?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like Australia would be really cool. Probably because it would be a lot harder to get out there on my own. So like that could kind of kill two birds with one stone. I think that could be amazing. But I think it's really cool how the NFL is expanding internationally. You know, I played in London, and now last season I played over in Frankfurt in Germany. So it is a really cool experience for the players and obviously the fans of that city or country.
Wow.
And on the topic of the season, we know you got injured last year. How's the recovery going?
Yeah, it's going really well. Back to jogging, really back to strengthening it, getting under the squat bar. So it's very ahead of schedule. I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Right. And when you were injured, I noticed, I, of course, follow your girlfriend, love what you both do. I saw that you guys were doing a fundraiser for Hurricane Helene.
Yep.
Can you just go behind the scenes of how you guys came up with that idea?
Yeah, I think it was a big thing. Obviously it swept through a lot of people, and obviously affected my home state of North Carolina as well. And it was one of those things like how can we do this in the most effective and the biggest way possible? And so luckily we had access actually through the Dolphins to Taylor Swift tickets.
Wow.
And so we were like, you know what, let's bundle this. Let's figure out a way. And, obviously that's kind of the hottest ticket in the world, I guess, besides the Super Bowl, I guess, for one game.
Right.
And so we were like, you know what, let's find a way to do it. So luckily we created a fundraiser. I think we raised over $100,000 and I think 24 hours might have been 36.
Crazy.
But just doing all we could.
Well, on the topic of your girlfriend, let's just cut to the chase and clear up some of the record on this because she had posted on TikTok recently, maybe there was an engagement coming. We don't know if this is because TikTok was, going to go down at one point. We know that's a big money maker for her. So could you just set the record straight? Is there an engagement happening now or is something coming up?
Look, I'm not responsible for everything that she says.
Okay.
For everything that I say. I guess we'll see. Time will tell.
Okay.
It's going really well.
Okay.
We're rooting for you.
And have you learned a lot about, because if you look at your Instagram, I mean, you're basically an influencer too. Have you learned a lot from her on how to sort of stylize your social media?
It's an absolute different world. So yes, I picked up a lot from her from social media standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, from, honestly, a lot of different standpoints. So yeah, we learn a lot.
Does she ever tell you, no, don't post that, do this instead? Or use this filter instead or any of that? Okay.
No filters, filters. But absolutely. She gives me tips, whether I ask or not, and they're all probably warranted.
Right. Awesome.
Let's talk really quickly about the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, your teammate, has said you guys need some more dogs this next year. what do you guys think the Dolphins need? Is there anybody you're really hoping the team adds on? And really, what are your sort of expectations for the next season?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm entering free agency, which means, obviously I can go back to Miami. I can go anywhere else. I think the collective group of men in that locker room are a great group. I truly do. And I think the front office is exceptional, and I think the coaching is as well. I think some things don't turn your way every year, and I think that happens. And losing puts a microscope on everything, and people want to blame everything and point fingers at a couple point sources of this is why this is why that. But I just don't believe that's the case. I think sometimes you fall short, and I think again free agency will happen and they'll add who they want and whatnot. But I think the group of men in that locker room and in that building collectively, everybody in that building was very good.
Yeah, we at Front Office Sports, we have a lot of ties to Miami Hurricanes football.
Love that.
Did you watch their season? What are your feelings on Cam Ward's future?
I did watch their season. That's why I had a deep sigh. I think they're a phenomenal team, and we're one win away from going to the ACC championship game, and then who knows? And probably the playoffs if they win that last one.
Definitely.
Cam Ward, big fan. It was phenomenal watching him. Glad he came over this year. Through the portal, which is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish him nothing but the best, and I think he's going to be a very good quarterback in this league.
Speaking of that, were you able to tap into NIL when you were in school?
No.
And is this?
No.
And
No.
given the fact that now you're an influencer now, are you jealous that you didn't have this opportunity? And was there?
What do you mean? Of course.
But was there?
My senior year, we were 10-0. We got to number 2 in the country. And it was.
You were those guys.
We were those guys,
Yeah.
right? Like Miami was back for that year, and then it fell off, and they're obviously good this year now again. But of course, I would have loved to be a 18, 19-year-old kid
making millions of dollars,
getting 6-7 figures to play ball.
Was there a dream NIL company you wish you could have worked with while you were at school?
Oh, I guess at that point in time, my nickname was like Honey Nut Berrios. So I feel like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh,
I feel like it's
incredible.
right there.
I think that would have been
Cheerios.
top notch for me.
Cheerios had a missed opportunity.
I missed an opportunity.
No, Cheerios missed out on this opportunity. But we can make up for it now.
Yes. Yes. Well, by the way,
this is his pitch. We're sending
this is my pitch,
to Kellogg's right now. Braxton, such a pleasure to have you here. Congratulations on all the success, and we're wishing you the best of luck through free agency.
Thank you so much.